everyone. I'm Deborah Gardner, your host for Hospitality Today Live. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm so excited to have you here every week. As a matter of fact, we have such amazing guests with real life topics on their stories, perspectives, opinions, and lessons, and so much more. And today I'm excited to introduce to you as the motivational Firewood guy, Steve Gamlin, who actually teaches people worldwide, and I'm talking about worldwide, to actually see their desired outcomes, understand their why, and build an action plan to actually achieve them while becoming aware of opportunities on a daily basis. And it's called visualization. And Steve's going to be here with us to tell us all about it. So don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. Welcome back, everyone. This episode is actually sponsored by visiblymedia, helping business communicate strategically in print and online, visiblymedia.com. Well, welcome back, everyone. We are here with my good friend, Steve. Hi.
Hey there, Deborah. How are you today?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for being with us, because I have to tell you, I am very excited about this topic because I am a big believer in visualization. And so as the expert of a vision board, how can not anyone want to watch today's show? So welcome.
Thank you so much. Very happy to be here. And I love that you love and understand the power of visualization. So thank you.
Oh, absolutely. As a matter of fact, I envisioned that sign behind you that actually says, "Hello, Hospitality Today Live." Hello. Thank you so much for doing that.
You're welcome. Hey, you made it to the chalkboard, and my clients love that. Sometimes we'll be talking and they'll realize, they go, hey, wait, move your head. Hey, that's us. And
I love that.
Because I tell them, I said, well, I pictured your name there, and then I got up, took action, and drew it. And I'm just glad hospitality didn't have any more letters. It took me 3 tries to get the fit on the chalkboard. So my 3rd grade English teacher would have been rapping me on the knuckles big time. So.
Oh my goodness. Well, I love it. It looks great. I appreciate it. No doubt. Now, I want to, first of all, start before we get into the actual part of visualization. I'm curious how you got the name Motivational Firewood. Can you elaborate on this for us?
Sure. About 17 years ago, when I became a speaker, I attended a National Speakers Association meeting in the Boston area, NSA New England. And I was there wearing, the blue badge that tells everybody, look, this is my first meeting. I have no idea what's going on. And my name is Steve. So a veteran member came over and he goes, "Hey, Steve, it's your first meeting. So what do you do?" And I said, "Well, I want to be a motivational speaker." And he said, "Okay, what sets you apart?" I said, "I want to help people." He goes, "You're not helping yourself right now with your definition." He was so gracious. His name was Don. So gracious and kind and patient. We spoke for about 5 minutes. And finally, I just said, "Don, if somebody's coming to hear me speak, they have a spark of hope, a goal, a dream, a desired outcome in their heart. And if I share a story, a lesson, or something, an example that gets them to take action," I said, "it's kind of like I've given them a piece of motivational firewood." And he said, "I have one more question. Do you know anything about trademarks?" I said, "Not a clue." He said, "Look it up. I love the concept. I love your energy talking about it." He goes, "I think you should pursue that." And I've been the motivational firewood guy, trademarked, ever since.
I'll be darned. That is a great story, and it totally fits you. So I'm glad to know the backstory behind that from Mr. Don, no doubt. But when we're talking about a motivational firewood and how it's connected to visualization, as a competitive swimmer myself, I've always utilized visualization since I was 7 years old and know that power behind that. So my question for you is, how did your life bring you to become a component for visualization? What qualifies you as a visualization expert?
The quick answer I give to a lot of people is I lived it. And where it started was in the early 2000s. I was wrapping up a 10-year radio career. And I worked about 15 years worth of hours, including my weekend DJ business. So I was absolutely fried. So in a very short window of time, I managed to demolish my radio career by walking away without a full-time job. My first marriage ended. And at age 35, I was about $60,000 in debt. It was the absolute lowest point of my life up until then. And one day I was hitting golf balls at a driving range and a thunderstorm came through and everybody but me ran away because it was just such a low point in my life. I said, look, I paid my last $3 of this week for a bucket of balls. I don't care. I'm going to hit them. So I stood there for an hour in a thunderstorm, in the pouring rain, barefoot in the wet grass, underneath power lines, hitting golf balls. And I hit mine and the buckets of two people who had run from the storm. And a couple of days later, I was working with a life coach and he said, so how was your week? And I told him the story about the lightning and the golf balls and the power lines. And he said, I got a question for you. Are you this open and honest with your life? And have you ever thought of being a motivational speaker or a stand-up comedian? And I said, yes to both, but I have no idea how to pursue it. And he connected me to a comedy class and Toastmasters. And he also gave me a copy of The Secret on DVD. And I got to learn the very basics of the law of attraction and how it works. Now, I didn't agree with everything The Secret said, but there was a 3-minute segment halfway through the movie. It talked about vision boards and visualization. And I was so fascinated by that's where my speaking actually began. I started to research law of attraction and intentionally envisioning a goal and then understanding why I really want it, a deeply connected reason, and then taking the actions to get there. And the first few boards I created were absolute junk. It was all stuff like the gurus tell us, the Ferrari, the mansion, the yacht. But then I started to see all these advancements and these little wins in my life by seeing it, being it, and doing it, which is the basic way that I explain to people. And I just started stacking up the wins and I started taking notes of what was working, what didn't work, what I could do better. And I started to teach live events and then wound up creating a program guiding people through the process. So, gosh, it all started with hitting golf balls in a thunderstorm, I guess, daring the
Oh
lightning
my,
to hit me.
wow. Probably knocked you to your side going,
It could
I
have.
should have had a VA kind of message, right?
It very easily could. I'm glad it didn't
Wow.
because I got a career out of it. So
That is great. That is
good.
great. So, with our viewers watching right now, who hopefully will be commenting or even asking you some questions, maybe we need to start out with the fact of what is visualization? What does it mean? What's the definition behind it? And why does it take people, so long to understand it and want to embrace it?
Yeah. Well, a lot of us are conditioned to do these things called New Year's resolutions. And
Yeah, right.
it's something. I used to bash the resolutions, but now I admit there's something. It's a start. Most people, though, are very broad brushed with them. They'll say, oh, I want to be happy. I want to be healthy. I want more money. Well, it doesn't really give you an outcome. And so what I start to work with people is to say, what does your goal look like? Like say in the case of health, you don't just want to feel better. If you want to lose weight, what's the exact number you would love to see on your scale at the end of the year? Why do you want that? And they may have that one outfit in their closet that's their favorite that they haven't fit into in a while, pre-COVID. I got the COVID-19, believe me. I'm right there. But to really see it and then understand what they can do to get there and incrementally take steps. So many of us at first, when we create that vision, it's so big and so scary and ominous. Where do we start?
Right.
So I
Right.
try to get people to see it first and then break down the little steps to get there and make it more attainable, believable, and confidence builds. Consistency plus momentum, I believe, equals confidence. And we start with seeing it first.
Okay. And so where does the mindset come in? Does it take positivity to grasp that, to happen, to pull that kind of spirit in, to know that there's some hope that it'll come true, whatever they visualize?
I think it is one of the most critical things you can do.
Okay.
And some people will say, set a goal and share it with everyone to keep you
Right.
accountable.
Right.
No, there are certain people you should not share your goals with. Hang out with people like me on social media, connect with people like me, with Deborah. And when you've got that vision, what I encourage people to do is great, share it with at least one other person whom you know, like, and trust, who's got your back, who believes in you, who can pick you up when you're down, cheer you on when you're feeling a little bit behind, and believe in you until you do. And
Okay.
I've very selectively chosen those people over the past 17 years to get me where I am now, because I used to be around a lot of negative, complaining people.
Right.
And boy,
Right.
they'll just wreck that ride if you let
Yeah.
them.
Yeah. And in the hospitality industry, a lot of people have been furloughed and laid off. And I
Uh,
would think that, a lot of them don't even have which direction to go to. And as meetings and events come back, wouldn't it be beneficial to them to utilize visualization?
I believe so. And so many people are out there, the speakers, they talk about that work-life balance as though those are the only two parts of our lives. What I try to stress to people is, look, you're made up of 8 major components in the standard life wheel, and you see it out there. Your career, your finances, your physical health, your emotional well-being, your spirituality, your connections, your relationships, your ethics, morals, and values. And what I want people to understand is, even if your career has been impacted negatively over the past year in your financial situation, remember all of those other parts. And as you're getting back into your role, whether it's a part-time role, a full-time role, and you're moving forward again, to make sure that all the other parts of your life are getting attention, and you have a vision for each part of those, because they all support each other. Say your physical health, you eat well, you get enough
Right.
sleep, you exercise often enough. It's going to make you better in your career. When you're better in your career, you have an opportunity to make more money, because everybody's always watching. Opportunity for advancement if you're one of those hard
Mhm.
workers, and all those other parts of your life build you. They're all bricks, and they build you. So as you're getting back into, and I love the hospitality industry, having been a speaker 17 years and a DJ for 27 and a half.
Oh, okay.
Love them. And I've met some of the most passionate, amazing, friendly, most loving, empathetic, kind, giving people in the hospitality industry. Some are hotel directors, and some are cleaning the plates off the table.
Right.
And I
Right.
love them all, and I appreciate them all, and I cheer for them all. And I hope they're all holding tight until things get back together.
Exactly. And if they were to work with you with your visualization techniques, I'm sure that it would be very helpful, especially internally, to give that confidence that they really need while they're out there looking for a job at this time. So it's good to know that you are able to have that kind of expertise, because I'm, again, me, I'm a big fan of it, no doubt. But is there actually some data behind visualization that really has a proof stamped on it that people can really go, aha, okay, if I Google this,
Yeah.
where's the data, statistics that it really does work?
There's a great study out there. TD Bank did it in the early part of the last decade. And I quote this often. If you look it up, TD Bank visualization statistics, they talked about, I believe they surveyed 1,100 individuals and 500 small business owners. If they'd use some form of visualization exercise when they were planning their business or whatever it is, or even a little side hustle and a hobby, if they really had a vision for it, of what they wanted it to look like, and a business plan for it, and even what their physical space was going to look like, the number of them who actually achieved 50% or more of their goals within the first couple of years was staggering compared to the average. You and I know most businesses fail about 70 or 80% within the first 3 to 5 years.
Right.
The number of the people who had achieved, or at least had the vision and created it or manifested it during those first few critical years, the numbers are amazing.
Hmm.
And I've plastered those all over. I've shared that study about 50 times over the years with people
Okay.
who say, I don't know about this. Look, it's in black and white in a very reputable corporation. authored this study, and
Well, I
it's
bet if
powerful.
people would follow you on your social media feed, they'll see those type
Yeah.
of stats and data that could be available to them at any time. So good
Mhm.
for you. So here, you were talking about companies earlier, and I know you work with a lot of major companies
Yeah.
that want to have you help their employees. So how do companies include visualization as part of their employee deployment? How do they do that? How do you do that?
It's amazing when you talk to the right team leaders and the right leaders who understand that their employees are all individuals. They're part of a team, but they're also individuals. And you want these people, I believe, to be creating the best versions of themselves, whether they're in the office or out of the office, to cover all 24/7, 365. And a big part of that is having them understand that they have business goals, but they also have personal goals outside as well, in their relationships, their connection in the
Right.
community, and all of these things. Kindness and giving back, making it a part of not only the company, but their individual employees. And when they understand that this is a complete person, not a robot sitting in their office or on the road 8, 10 hours a day, when they see that full picture and understand that what they do in the other parts of their life actually can make them better, I've found them to be a lot more open about it. Now, some of the closed mindset, look, we're just dialing for dollars here, they don't understand, and I don't argue with them. But when I hear people say, as a leader, I want to know what I can do to help all of my team members to be the best versions of themselves they can be, that's a great place to start a conversation. And I've seen some incredible results over the years where people start to actually, because they're already part of a team and they're open with each other, they'll mention one of their goals or one of the things they're visualizing. Someone else across the room will raise their hand and say, "Oh, I did that a few years ago." Then you start to see these relationships reaching a different level
Hmm.
of knowing, of caring, of having each other's back, of cheering each other on. And even if they're in competition technically with each other, I've watched inter-office relationships blow up over the past number of years. And one of the team leaders, the CEO of a local real estate agency, said, when we came back, we did our event on a Friday. They came back Monday. She said, the energy in this place is blowing the roof off.
Hmm.
Everyone came in differently than they came in Friday.
Oh,
And a
interesting.
big
So
part of
on
it was that.
average, yeah, that's fascinating to me because I don't think a lot of companies think about that. They'll have people come in and do sales training, negotiating training, leadership training, but to visualization type of training, I just, is that a hard sell? Or it depends on who you talk to.
It
I would
can be.
think you'd have to really come in with some, again, data and stats and the results to prove how the other companies that you've worked with that really do work.
Yeah, it can be a very hard sell because unfortunately, and you and I know this being speakers, people hear the word motivational or anything and they think, rah, 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 buy my stuff. And that's what it's going to be. I mean, I've literally watched a speaker on stage before say, dream big. And the audience started clapping and almost wet themselves with excitement. I'm thinking, really? I mean, this is guru riding a unicorn with a rainbow glitter sky here. No, 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 no. I try to bring it in and show with the stats, the mechanics, the actual working parts in the process in the least woo-woo fashion possible. And just
Okay.
from the gut, blue collared ethic, back to basics. Here's how it works. And if you plug into it, you can see results on the other side.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. Basics, the fundamentals are a big part of the technique to visualize. Sometimes I would have been standing on, a swimming pool block before a big race, and I would just shut my eyes. And I mean, literally, the gun's ready to go off, and I would shut my eyes and visualize right before it happened. And to see it come to fruition is like, did that really happen? That's exactly the way I thought of it. So it's a powerful, just extremely, extremely powerful process. But yet I would think it would be a very hard sell. So how long does it take to, if you went into a company
Mhm.
or organization and you sat down with all the employees or even on an individual basis, how long does that process to teach them? Does it depend? Does it take a couple weeks, a couple months? What is your usual, results in that area?
In the days before now, having to be more virtual, what I would do is have maybe a Zoom call or produce a video to kind of explain in advance, like, my name is Steve Gamlin. Here's my face. This is my voice. Here's what I talk about. We're going to be doing this. And I promise you right up front, it's going to feel weird for a lot of you, but here's what we're going to do. So I kind of give them a little in advance what to expect and what it's going to be like. And then I used to do about a 2.5 hour live event with them in which they would at least get their boards started. And I would teach the basics behind it and all the steps. We wouldn't just show up with pictures and with a glue stick. We would start telling stories and digging and go through some of the exercises. And then we would have some follow-up group coaching as
Okay.
well. And there are some people at the executive level who prefer to have just one-on-one coaching and
Okay.
do that as well. But we all kind of work together in every month, at least once a month, try to tap back into the excitement of that. Ask them, what is your biggest win since the last time we spoke? What has been a challenge? What do we need to brainstorm and kick around? So I try not to make it a one and done.
Okay.
It's not set it and forget it. We're not roasted chickens here on a Saturday morning infomercial about the roaster. It's not set it and forget it. It's the initial kick, and let's keep in touch with this. You don't hide the boards away and hope. The Secret did that with the genie and the magic lamp, and it drives me crazy that they did that. I really, I can't bash it because I wouldn't be where I am without it, but I really wish they hadn't, put in that wishing for things.
Right.
You got to at least meet the universe or whatever power or energy you believe in halfway, intentionally, and with action.
Okay. So there is a process then, and it just all depends on what the need is and how deep you want to go and what the availability is, and if it's an individual or group, that kind of thing. So
Yeah.
that's a all pre-work that needs to be done. It's not something you just jump in and say, "Hey, teach me how to do this," So
Yeah. Well, some people have, hey, we're going to have a vision board party with wine, cheese, crackers, scissors, and glue sticks. I'm like, okay, first off, wine and scissors, bad combination. But there's also no prep work done in that. And again, like resolutions, it's something. But I actually launched a t-shirt line last year. On the back, it says, friends don't let friends attend vision board parties.
Good one. Okay, I can see that comedian side of you. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you've got some fans that are here to ask some questions. So let's pop in a little bit of those. I'm going to let you see. One is from Lynn Wellish, who is actually, speaking of one of our show fans, just adore her and have her on once in a while. She says, does Steve find that meditation is a part of visualization?
Very much so. And I say that all in capital letters in a bold font like Gaudy Stout. Meditation is a big part of it because just like you on the diving block, you're already seeing it happening. You're already seeing the muscle movements, what you're going to have to do, how it's going to feel when you're done. And meditating for that is such a powerful way to, as Jack Canfield says, acting as if, to already see it being manifested. So I highly recommend meditation and focus. Turn off all things electronic and just see it and be with it and feel connected to not only emotions, but all the senses that are going to be involved with it. And then go out. And I believe that with law of attraction and anything else you may believe in that's at work, it's going to raise your antennae for the opportunities to take the next step, have a conversation with someone, to learn something new. Right. Google and YouTube are two of the greatest educational tools out there.
Sure.
And they really are. Yeah. So meditation, great question.
Oh, and, absolutely. Great question.
Yes.
And we have another one too here from Lisa Raymond. What kind of words or verbiage should you use to help create visualization strategies? Another good question.
Yeah, great question. Use words that get you to trigger all of your senses is a great place to start to really dial in that vision. And what I love to do with people is just have conversations. What does your goal look like, feel like, sound like, even smell like? What will it feel like when you achieve it? And to start, again, acting as if, but also to get people out of that little bland cardboard box of, I want this.
Okay.
To really start to see it, live it, breathe it, and really, really feel it, so that if you were to write it down or draw it or put a sticky note in your mirror, when you open your eyes in the morning and you see that, it just triggers. Super Teddy, who was our little dog, wrote a book. His first quote was, "Wake up every day and wag yourself happy." And I use that in visualization. I tell people, look, put your vision board where you can see it first thing in the morning, or at least on your phone as the wallpaper, and intentionally keep yourself attached to that vision with consistency, and you're going to see better results.
Okay. Okay. Well, speaking of results, can we actually, this last couple minutes that we have together, can you actually put us through a visualization quick exercise that
Sure.
our viewers can actually get a little sense of, like, smell and taste and all that you just described? Because I
Mhm.
think I think this would be perfect for you to share something with them.
Yeah, I'll share one that happened about 10 years ago. I was on stage doing an event with about 140 people in the audience. And somebody had asked me if I could speak on visualization or include that. I said, okay, who has a dream car they would love to drive? And I saw this little tiny hand in the back of the room. It was this woman in her mid 60s. She was all about 5 foot nothing. And I said, what is your car? She goes, well, I'm going to retire next year and I want to buy a Corvette. And everybody went, whoa, okay.
Whoa.
I said, what year? She goes, 1974. I said, what color? She said, bright orange. I said, hardtop or convertible? She goes, convertible. I'm going to the beach every week. I said, okay. Leather or cloth interior? She goes, oh, honey, leather. I said, all right, who's going to be on the radio? And she goes, oh, baby, Elvis. I said, okay, so you want a bright orange 74 Corvette convertible with black leather interior with Elvis so you can crank out the highway to the beach every week. She goes, yeah. I said, how many of you can see her right now in that bright orange and smell the leather and all this? And everybody went like that. I said, do you know where they're selling one? She goes, oh, there's a dealership a couple towns over that I've had my eye on. I said, okay, who would like to go with her tomorrow at lunch? Have her sit there with her sunglasses on, Elvis on the stereo, and a big smile behind that wheel and take her picture so she can see it every day. And about a dozen hands went up. I said, a Corvette only seats two. Pick one person and go. But in that little nutshell, that's everything. We've hit every sense, and also the anticipation, and also the importance of taking a picture, making it real, and having it where you can see it on a daily basis.
Interesting. Okay. Okay. Wow. And so it's just a matter of sometimes just closing our eyes, or, like you said, just verbally say it.
Mhm.
And sometimes it just, like the genie comes out of the bottle.
Yeah.
You put it into the universe and it'll come back to you.
Yeah. Well, it's like the reticular activating system. You know, when we say, oh, I'd like to buy a red car or a red Honda CRV, all of a sudden we start to see all these red Honda CRVs, like somebody read our mind. They've been there all this time. But when you get clear about it, your antennae wipe out all the, peripheral things, and you start to really become aware of opportunities and
Yeah.
connections in people and conversations. And
Right.
it increases the odds. I never guarantee anything. It increases the odds that you're going to get closer to where you want to be.
And it's free.
And
There's
it's
no
free.
purchase of anything.
Yeah, really. You just kind of plug in and it never
It's like,
really,
just
yeah,
do it.
yeah, exactly. See it, be it,
Wow.
do it. That's the most basic version. That's actually on my
Wow.
coffee mug. See it, be it, do
Oh,
it.
there you go. There you go.
I
That
just
makes a
looked
lot
down
of
and
sense.
saw it and I'm like, hey, I got the right mug today. All
That
right.
makes a lot of sense. Well,
Yep.
that was really, really interesting. I am just so thrilled you were here. And I just have one more question for you, though, is,
Sure.
this entire year has been an interesting year, no doubt. Was there anything that you personally learned, one thing that you had learned throughout this year that you would like to share?
So many people overused the word pivot last year. So I'm
Right,
not going to use the word pivot. What I did
right,
was I bounced my business off the wall a different way. And because of 2020, we actually created an online platform for me to be able to work with companies so I don't have to hop on a plane.
right,
So I'm actually able to work with more companies at a deeper level now because of this. So
right.
it's not a bad year. And I also wrote down 1,000 moments of gratitude last year. So I can't say it
Ah.
was a bad year.
Oh, that's good. There's always a silver lining when things like
Yes.
this happen. And again, it's not our first time. So we have to be prepared for the next one. And if we visualize what we're going to do for the next time, we will be even more successful.
Yes, exactly. Just be open and stop staring at the ground. Don't stare at your shoes.
Exactly.
Look ahead and put your head on a swivel. And I mean, we're here because of an opportunity to answer a question you had about a microphone. And
Right.
that's why we're here. So
Right. Visualize that.
Yeah. We
Well,
did.
Steve, this was an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And gosh, again, I'm wishing you a great new year coming up as we begin the whole cycle again. And I know I'll see you out there as well. At least we'll visualize that.
Yes. We'll visualize actually both being surprised that we're on the same event somewhere, because that would be
Exactly. And it'll
wonderful.
happen.
It
It'll
will.
happen.
It will. I'll see you out there somewhere, my friend.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Wow, I hope all of you really enjoyed Steve's his techniques, his strategies, and all the answers to your questions. Because I tell you what, I am such a big believer in what he is teaching all the people that are out there in a worldwide sense of form. So I'm just thrilled that he was able to be here with us. So, and if you did enjoy this, by all means, the conversation can continue with him. All you have to do is contact him, Steve Gamlin, Gamlin, and he's all over social media. So you'll definitely want to take advantage of connecting with him. I'm sure he'd be delighted to talk with you more. And if you did, again, enjoy this episode, by all means, you can see it again or share it on Facebook, YouTube, or even LinkedIn. I want to thank all my sponsors, my definitely sponsor, Visiblymedia, for being here with us today. We totally enjoy having them for a lot of different episodes, as a matter of fact. And if you have any questions, contact us at hello@hospitalitytodaylive. We'd be happy to answer any questions, listen to your suggestions, feedback, or even maybe you want to be on the show. Do let us know. And I want to actually mention that this week we have something very special to share with you. We have a historical moment happening right here on Hospitality Today Live. It's Global Meetings Industry Day, this Thursday, April 8th. We are going to have an all day, and I'm talking about an all day, starting at 6:45 in the morning Mountain Time. For the entire day, we're going to have the top leaders right here on Hospitality Today Live, talking about the trends, responsibility, accountability, advocacy, and so much more. You will not want to miss this Thursday, April 8th, right here on Hospitality Today Live. We're going to say that we are just getting ready for the return of live meetings, and it's going to be a big, huge celebratory day. So all you have to do, again, is go to Hospitality Today Live, a Facebook page, LinkedIn, or YouTube throughout the entire day. It is free. There's no registration. All you have to do is hop on and take a look. And if you want to see the top leaders that we're going to be having, the actual guest lineup, again, just go to our Facebook page and you will see that right there. So then next week, what's up next? Well, I'd like to introduce to you Laura Hartman and Gladys Culler. They are the co-founders of H&F Redefined. Now, this is an interesting twist because these two ladies have been furloughed in the hospitality industry, and then they were laid off, but then they became inventors, and they actually invented something that is just amazing, one of a kind in the hospitality industry. On top of that, they have a new talk show. So they are definitely one of those ones that are just going to have to say, we're better two heads than better one. That really happened for them. So we're going to find out right here on the show. How did they do this? How did they go from being furloughed to being so successful as innovators? And they're going to give you some secrets, tips, techniques, and so much more. That's next week, Tuesday, same time, same channel. So I just want to say, I'm Deborah Gardner, and on behalf of our growing staff here at HTL, thank you so much for joining us. And remember, if you're thinking about it, we're talking about it right here on HTL. Have a great week, everybody.